Welcome. Today, we're going to make sense of absolute values. We can think of absolute values as a function that can tell you how far a number is away from zero in the number line. Let's illustrate this idea with the number line below. Right here in blue, let's place the value of 0. And remember that in the number line, the values on the right-hand side of 0 are positive, and the values on the left-hand side of 0 are negative. Let's choose a number. Let's choose the number of 3. So from 0, let's move 3 units to the right. Now let's think of the following question. How far is 3 away from 0 in the number line? The way that we can represent this question is to say that we're going to take the absolute value of 3. And the absolute value is always drawn with some vertical lines around a number. And we can definitely count that distance. So from 3, if we go to 0, we are 3 units away from 0. So therefore, the absolute value of 3, it is 3. But what if instead of looking at the value of positive 3, we look at the value of negative 3? So let's ask ourselves the same question. How far is negative 3 from 0 in the number line? The way that we can represent this question is by saying that we will take the absolute value of negative 3. And remember, the absolute value are those 2 vertical lines displayed in red. But we can definitely count that distance. From negative 3 to the value of 0, there's a distance of 3 units. So we can say that the absolute value of negative 3, it's also 3. So notice that regardless, if we put a positive 3 inside the absolute value or negative 3 inside the absolute value, the result, it's always positive. So let's clean this up and let's find the absolute value of other numbers. Now let's take a look at the number of negative 5. How far is negative 5 away from 0 in the number line? The way that we can display that is by saying we're going to take the absolute value of negative 5. And we can definitely count that distance. Negative 5 is 5 units away from 0 in the number line. So we can say that the absolute value is 5. And just one more number, let's say that we're interested on the value of positive 5. If we want to represent the distance of 5 away from 0 in the number line, we can say that we're going to take the absolute value of positive 5. And we can definitely count that distance. 5, it's 5 units away from 0 in the number line. And one characteristic that will always occur is that the output of an absolute value, it will always be positive. Because if we choose any negative number in the number line, let's call it negative x, that will always be x units away from 0 in the number line. Well, that is the same distance as if we would have chosen the positive value of that. It will also be x units away from the number line. So regardless if it's a negative or a positive number, we will always be the same units away from 0 in the number line. In mathematics, sometimes we use positives and negatives to indicate directions. Do you get tired if you run negative 5 miles? The question makes no sense. But we can rephrase this question. Instead of saying that we ran negative 5 miles, we can say that we ran 5 miles on a negative direction. So if we place ourselves at 0 in the number line, if we move to the right, that's a positive direction. And if we move to the left, that is a negative direction. So if we are at 0 and we run 5 miles on a negative direction, we are going to land at the number of negative 5. And one way to represent the distance that we travel is by saying that we're going to take the absolute value of negative 5, which is equivalent to 5. So the outcome is the distance that we travel. The number that we place inside the absolute value is the location in the number line. And notice that this will be the same distance that we would have traveled if we would have ran 5 miles in a positive direction. That is the same as taking the absolute value of positive 5, which is also 5, where the outcome is the total length that we ran, and the number that we place inside the absolute value, it is a location in the number line.
Hello. If you would like to continue learning about mathematics, you can check out the videos on the left.